Good morning, everybody. Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Epic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show on the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. It is the Morning Vibe, the first Monday of April 2023. And I look outside my window here in Toronto. We have sunshine. Supposedly we're getting warm weather sooner or later. I don't know which one it is, but hopefully sooner. But looking forward to another epic conversation. Hope you all had a great weekend. If you're watching this live on the replay, it's appreciated and not taken for granted. Ryan, unfortunately, is not feeling well, so I'm going hand solo today. So just want to make sure you realize that if you're looking for Ryan, he's not going to be with us today. I know he may pop in a little bit later. I doubt it, but you never know with Ryan. So before we go any further, as always, like most Mondays, the Morning Vibe is sponsored by the McMillan Group, providing mortgage solutions one client at a time since 1999. Buying, refinancing, or investing, call them in Canada at 905-813-4354. In the U.S., 904-586-5636. So we appreciate the continuous support of the McMillan Group. And hope everyone had a good weekend. And if you're chiming in, hey, please tell us where you're chiming in from. Also, I'm going to just make sure I put the McMillan Group information here. Again, Canada, U.S. They also have a toll-free number, 866-883-0885. Website, the McMillan Group, Inc.com, and email address, raycmcmillan@gmail.com. All right, so we haven't had this gentleman on for a long time. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had this gentleman. And Dr. Cleophas, Justine Pierre, is going to be joining us this morning. His organization has done not only a Black Canadian first, but a Canadian first. They have done a Black labor needs assessment. The first, 2023, the first one. And the last time we had him on a long time ago, he was basically saying to organizations, hey, we have this data, let's collaborate. So we have him here with us this morning, hanging out with us. Good morning, Dr. Pierre.
Good morning. How are you today, sir? It's a pleasure to have me. At least the spring is here. This is the first Monday of April. To the listening audience, thank you for having me, and I know that you have a very wide audience. So today, hopefully, we will share some light on some of the new developments in the Black space in terms of research, and I'm willing to tell you at least what our survey and what our research is saying with regard to the labor market needs assessment in Canada.
Excellent. Since it's been a while since you've been with us, can you give a little background about yourself and your organization?
Okay. Well, thanks again. As I said, I'm Justine Pierre. I am the director of research and business development in this Canadian firm, Dunn, Pierre, Barnett and Company, Canada Limited. We are in the field we have been in this field for a very long time. We established since in 2007. We got registered in 2012. The company is owned, or is the CEO of the company is Dr. Paula Dunn Pierre. She's a specialist in technical vocational education and training. And so we as a firm, we conduct, so we specialize in TVET, skills development, skills training, but we also specialize in a specific type of study which is called labor market needs assessment. So we have done that, and we have done that very well over the last 15 20 years. What makes us a bit unique is that even though we're a small organization, even though we're a Black organization, but we have some very strategic partnerships. So at present, we have partnerships with over about 17 universities. We have 53 team members. We have our relationship with statistics organizations, and also as a firm, we are a United Nations supply of goods and services. So it means that the UN, we as an organization are a supplier. So that shows you that the quality of work that we do. We also provide assistance to organizations like the IOM, the World Bank, and most of the other international agencies, UNICEF, the ILO. So we, I believe, we are specialized, as I said, and that is why, at least, we got this opportunity to take on this specific type of study. We are from, most of us, from the developing countries. I think Dr. Dunn Pierre is originally from the island of Jamaica. I'm from the island of Grenada. However, so we come from this this specialization. I was a statistician in my previous life, so at least we believe that we give good quality work, and as a result, our work is being more and more people are they're knowing about our work. People are calling us out, especially with this with the survey that we have just completed. And later on in the show, I will tell you more about it. As a firm, we have conducted over 160 studies in 40 countries. So we are known worldwide, but we are not known in Canada as we ought to. And hopefully, with this groundbreaking study, we hope people will know more about us.
Okay, fantastic. Just going to take a little time out to say hello to the family. Good morning, Altafina. Good to hear from you. Dr. Tachi, host of the livest online show about media tech and pop culture called Mediascope. You can find it on Wednesdays, IG Live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and then at 6 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, so many different platforms. I stopped counting. Billions and billions of different platforms. Always good to have you here, Dr. Tachi. Fitness IQ Cam, good morning. Good morning. And that's it. And anyone else, chime in. Tell us where you're coming in from. We want to have a great Monday morning family conversation. So, Doctor, last year your company completed the first labor market in Canada, first labor market in Canada's history, and the survey was done in Ontario. So why is it so important about a labor market needs assessment for Black Canadians?
Okay, then. Well, that's a very I mean, it's a very very good question. And well, why some people say, like, why labor market needs assessment? So we have to look at colonial countries. So after the Second World War, and many of the most countries were still under colonial rule. The United Nations, together with the World Bank, and came together and decided what's the best way for a country to develop. What's the best way for these countries who are still under colonial rule, for them to move away from colonial rule and be independent. So the fastest way to grow to get a country from stage 1 to stage 2 or 3 or 4, and it was recommended that a labor market needs assessment be conducted. Okay, and since the World Bank, since its inception in 1944, the World Bank has assisted over 135 countries to conduct these labor market needs assessment. So according to the World Bank and the ILO, these are the fundamental surveys. So every country that has passed through their development stage, okay, Japan, India, all the great countries we know about, all have conducted labor market needs assessment. And what we are seeing is that a labor market needs assessment has never, especially on the Black community, I'm talking about the Black population, has never been done in the history of Canada. And because the labor market needs assessment has never been done, we do not have enough data. We do not know about our population. We do not know. If I were to ask you, Dr. Vibes, what is the average, where you find the highest percentage of Black people, or if I want to, if I have my friend or my sister is coming from Jamaica or South Africa or Nigeria, and they want to have which school that provides their best education or maths for Black people for children, we cannot tell them. Okay, and that's why, as the World Bank says, that's why the labor market needs assessment is so important, and that's why most countries, the World Bank has supported most countries to complete their labor market needs assessment. And what we have done in our attempt, we conducted a rapid labor market needs assessment. But however, if the data that we have so far, it's so important that it shows why the labor market needs is so important. We looked at businesses, we look at people, and we realized that, and as a result, we believe that the data that have been collected, at least it's a good start, so that we can now start putting into practice some of these recommendations.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to just jump in a little bit too. Macmillan Group is chiming in from Mississauga and Jacksonville, Florida. So good to have the Macmillan Group in, as always. Dr. Pierre, this is the first of its kind done in Canada. What does that tell you? That it hasn't been done before?
Well, yeah. It's a cause of concern, actually. It's a cause of concern because what we see that Canada is there are more Black people outside of Canada than you have Black people inside of Canada. We have a population of about 1.5 million people. We have a labor force of about 708,000 people. Okay, so we have a very small population. So Canada itself is a developed country. So according to the World Bank, we have most labor market needs assessments they're conducted in developing countries, even though labor market needs assessments are conducted in Canada. But none has been done on the Black population. And there lies the problem, because without the labor market needs assessment, you cannot get in the required data to plan for training, for investments, opportunities, all the basic infrastructure that you need to develop your country. It's fine. It is in the labor market needs assessment. The labor market needs assessment is not the long form that you see on StatScan. It's much more complicated than that, and that's why it is a specific type of study that the World Bank recommends. And however, we in Black Canada, we have never done this type of study before in our history. So as a result, some of the challenges we had in the 80s, some of us who were here in the 80s, the challenges we had in the 80s, of police brutality, all the issues, we're seeing the same problems are coming up every decade because of this lack of this labor market needs assessment. And it's time that we do something about it. And this is the first step in getting enough data for us to know who we are. We need to know who we are. We need to identify our black black people. We need to know what professions they are in, because as I said, we as black people, we are the most underemployed population in the entire country. Meaning that we're educated as a general population, but we're not given the opportunity, and we do not know, and our training in our education system is not aligned with the demand of the workforce, and that's why it sees as a result of the absence of a labor market needs assessment. Because the labor market needs assessment, what it does is that it provide that type of data for the workforce, so that the training. So when you go to school, when you go to school, your schooling would align you, would prepare you for the workforce. However, because there is not a labor market needs assessment in Canada, our children go to school, and when they graduate, they are unemployed. They cannot get jobs because what they study is not what the workforce wants. So there is this misalignment. There is this, as I said, black people, we have the highest underemployment of any ethnic group in Canada.
Okay, good stuff. Like, what qualifications does your organization have to do this type of market assessment? Because we have universities that haven't done it. What gives your organization the ability to do this when there are other bigger organizations that could be doing this?
Well, I mean, that's a very interesting question. And so people, we go around and people ask us, you're a small company, you're a black owned company. Most of these surveys are done by large, white firms. And we say that that we are specialists. So as I mentioned before, our firm, we are a supplier to the United Nations. I mean, to be a supplier to the United Nations, to do services, to work for the IOM, to work for the ILO, to work for the World Bank, you have to be top notch. You have to be experienced in what you do. So we have a long experience of working with these international organizations. We have standards. We have our methodology is good. We have been working in the black space for a number of years. So as a firm, we believe that we have more experience in working in conducting surveys with black people, among black people, than any other organizations in Canada, including their university, because we are from the developing countries. And also with no offense to any of the universities or anything like that, we are no university has ever conducted a labor market needs assessment. I mean, and in our history, maybe something that may not be important for them, or maybe they do not see the importance of it, because if they had seen it, they would have done it a long time ago. And also, there's no black university in Canada. So, but we are a black organization, and our mandate is to promote our culture and our people. So that is why we saw that it was so important for us to conduct this labor market needs assessment. And it's not my word, it's the World Bank word. It says that it's the foundation. So the foundation of development is this labor market needs assessment. You have to start from somewhere. Same as how India conducted 4 labor market studies in the 60s. And now look at what India is today. Japan, for example, in between 1951 and 57, 3 labor market needs assessment. Now, Japan is such a powerful country. China, again, has also been instrumental in conducting labor market, but China has gone further, because what China does is that it conducts labor market based on provinces. Not only nationally, yes, but it's so important. They conduct labor market based on province. So one province will have a labor market, another province will have another labor market. That's how the importance of a labor market needs assessment. However, what a labor market needs assessment has never been done. I mean, just imagine it. It never been done in the history of Canada on Black people. So the labor market needs assessment is like a crisis. Okay, it's urgent. It is more urgent than anything else. It's more urgent than because without funding, without the labor market, you cannot assess where the funding will be. You have to do the labor market first. Now, then you go to training. You have to do the labor market. Then you deal with the resources. You have to do the labor market. Then you do everything. So the foundation, according to the World Bank, is conducting this labor market needs assessment.
Okay, excellent. Fitness IQ says the information you're sharing is definitely important. Also want to remind people, hey, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. If you do it on YouTube, also hit the notification button so you get notified of upcoming conversations. Like it on Facebook, wherever you're watching the conversation, like it and spread the word. Spread the word. So let's see, we got another comment coming up here. Macmillan Group says, Dr. Pierre, thank you for conducting the assessment. As a data and analysis junkie, I will certainly get my copy and go deep into the research. So before the conversation ends today, family, I'll be able to share where you can get. I've shown a little bit of it, but I'll be able to give you the link where you'll be able to get the full throttle. So, Dr. Pierre, getting into this survey, what were some of the main findings your organization found in regards to the survey?
Good. So that's a very good question. So what we found was very interesting. Okay, first of all, we found that there is there's misclassification. So our basic challenge is misclassification. So we conducted this study on facts. So there are 27,640 Black businesses in Canada worldwide. We have, let's say, about 56% in Ontario. We have a 79,000 Black business owners. So about 27,000 Black businesses, about 79,000 Black business owners. What we found, okay, that there is this issue of misclassification. So the whole industry, StatScan and all the government agencies, there's an issue of misclassification. So for example, if you look on Statistics Canada website or any other government website and they ask, what is a small business? So it's a small business is between one customer, one employee and 99. Medium size between 100 and 240 and etc. However, within the Black population, okay, the classification, which Black business have within the classification, we operate on different metrics. So within our industry, 86% of all our businesses are under 5 employees. So we cannot classify ourselves as small business. We are what is Professor Barnett calls. We have what is called we are nano firms. So that's very small firms, nano firms. So there's a specific classification on for nano firms. So small firms, and small firms operate differently nano firms operate differently to small firms. So this is what some of the biggest classification. So if you go to a bank, for example, and ask and for a loan, a small business loan, they will put you in the same category as someone who has 99 employees or 60 employees. But when you deal with Black persons, we have to operate differently, because even though we are living in a developed country, we are a developing people. Our standards are different. Our the way we operate is different, because of obviously our or the challenges we have within our society. So this is their main or the first their main differences. We also found, for example, that just the issue of coding. So in under their UN mandate, how companies are coded. So there's something called their NACE codes. Okay, and there are only 3 countries in the world that use NACE codes. This is Mexico, Canada, and the United States. It is based on classification based on industry. We as Black people, we seldom have there are very few Black firms or Black people have dominate these industries. But however, we are classified based on that. However, the United Nations classify persons based on IC codes. So first of all, we are classified differently. Some of their so the main findings, we also found out that businesses are treated differently. Black businesses in Canada are treated differently. There are some challenges, major challenges. We also found out that the majority of the wider business population, most of them do not do business with Black firms, and this is one of the one of the main challenges we have. That the wider population, that we as business people, we only operate among ourselves. We are the fringe, and it is challenging for us to develop properly. So that is one of the main challenges we found conducting their survey, that the business population, in close to 80% of non-Black businesses do not have any Black suppliers, and we need diversity in this supply industry. If you as a business person, as a business owner, listening to this survey, reach out to Black people, reach out to our Black firms, have a Black supplier, because by doing that, you really are helping their Black community. We also found out that there's issue in terms of how much Black people are paid. They're paid way less than the general population. Actually, in the study, there is a case in the report. There is a case study. So, for example, we looked at a white high school graduate, and we traced that high school graduate 4 or 5 years after graduation, compared it with a Black male who has a master's degree and a Black female. And what we found is that in certain industries, even though you have a high school education, you still get more money than a Black person with a master's degree. You see? So these are some of the major challenges. We are not treated equally in the workplace. And I think that it is something for serious concern, because racism kills, and racism is affects us, but it also affects the government more, because the government is losing revenue based on racism. Because if someone requires or is valued $100,000 per year, why pay him 50? Look at the amount of money the government is losing in terms of taxing. And then in our discussions with some of the government ministries, we have to show them that, hey, why you have to do something to bridge that gap. And these are some of the studies and some of the challenges we found in just doing the actual research, interviewing persons on the ground, interviewing Black firms, interviewing white firms, and these are some of their main issues.
Okay. Hayden says, first of all, Dr. Pierre, thank you very much for your service. It's of critical importance. The Macmillan Group has a question. You refer to the Black Canadian population as a developing nation. How can that assessment be made when we are so integrated into the mainstream economy and have no economy or systems of our own?
Right. Yeah. So that's a yeah. So we are. So for example, we as Black companies, okay, as Black people. So we are as a. Yeah, I believe that we are developing. Okay, even though we are living in Canada, we are 1.5 million people. A lot of the activities that we are engaged in uh, has to do with our exposure, because we are not exposed in the business community as we should be, and as a result there are certain fundamental challenges with the Black business. As I said, we come our labor, our research focus on Black business. So for example, we know that in the population, Black businesses are rejected about 8 times more than a regular business. So Black business in Canada. So if, for example, if you apply for a loan, a Black business will be rejected 8 times than a regular business. Actually, our rate, our rejection rate in the US, the rejection rate in the US, we have twice the percentage of rejection rate, and this is not my data. This is data coming from McKinsey. Okay, so what we also found
Dr.
out
Pierre,
that
can I just?
yes.
Sorry, I just need to interrupt. What do you mean by rejection?
Okay, so for example, if we go to a bank for financing, we would not get a loan. Okay, we are rejected 8 times. And so based on McKinsey's, McKinsey did a study, and an average Black business in the United States is rejected 4 times more, but we are rejected 8 times. So just financing. So financing plays a major part in your expansion. When your business grows, you have to expand. And what has been happening is we cannot expand because we do not have the resources to expand. As a result, most of the businesses become insolvent. Most of their business fail because they do not have their resources to expand. Try getting funding in any bank. Just sometimes it takes as much, maybe 6 months, 7 months, a year. As someone told me, the banks will not tell you no, but they would not tell you yes. So they string you along 8, 9 months, 12 months waiting, and eventually you give up. So the rejection rate is very high. We also found some of the reasons why the fundamental challenges, obviously racism. We also have lower credit scores than the average population. And one of the reasons why, because of the lack of funding, and also we as Black business, we use our credit cards, personal credit, financing to finance our businesses, whereas most of the other population, they do not do that. We also have some of the challenges with our Black organizations because we do not keep proper records. Okay, we tend to be not compliant. We do not file our taxes properly. We do not our income statements and end of tax. We do not do that properly compared to the rest of the population. And as a result, we do not have proper documentation to apply for funding. We also, why we are compared as a developing people in terms of business, is that we use more cash transaction than other businesses. Okay, Black businesses, we found out, conduct little or no research. Okay, we do not have the resources to conduct research. We also have as most black business, we also have very few white customers or non-black customers. And because we're a small population, because we have a very we only 790 persons who are in the labor force to consume items, our pool is too small. We need to have other customers from other race. Okay, one of the challenges we encountered is that black businesses are not linked to major industries. We have an idea, we have a business idea, and we just come up with the idea because we feel it's good, but it's not linked to proper research. So, for example, we interviewed a guy, a company. They were making a tool and die, but I asked them, who is your main customer? Ford and some of their dealerships. So his business is linked to a major industry, the automotive industry. However, our businesses are not linked to any major industry. We also found that in our research that we as black firms, we conduct we declare lower salaries than other occupations, than other ethnic groups, and we have fewer qualified staff than the rest of the Canadian population, and as a result, in my opinion, I believe that based on these type of information, I believe that we are, as from a business perspective, we're not on par with their general population.
All right, good stuff. Fitnance IQ says, Dr. Pierre, as someone who does tax planning, I am agreeing with you. Very, very much so. So you've talked. Are there any other major findings? You've talked about a number of different things, and also the access to resources. I think that in the last few moments you mentioned that area too. But the thing is, there's a double-edged sword there. You use that person who's access to Ford and companies like that. Most black business owners have to deal with so many different challenges. You talked about money. You talked about keeping records, and then the racism fact. If they go present themselves to these companies that are most of them are non-melanated, how are they going to move further if non-melanated companies don't want to work with them?
Right, and again, a very good question, and this is the challenge we face, is that because one of what we found out that the general population, 70% of the population, these industries, these persons, they do not do business with black people. Okay, and that's a challenge. So there is no supplier diversity. So if let's say a company has maybe a supply, there's a tender, for example, to do a construction job or to do a research or to manufacture something, and you are a black firm, and they know that you're a black firm, they would not give you their opportunity. And that is what, so it's very difficult. So it's very difficult for us to penetrate into other ethnic groups. And it is important for us. And that has been some of the major challenges that we are facing. But and that's why the government has to come involved. That's why, the Ontario government, federal government, all the major banks, all the industry need to come together to support our people. And that's why, as I said, we have to get a national black labor market needs assessment. It has to be to be done, or a black census. We need to have the data, because we cannot make right policies if we don't have the data. And as of April 3rd, we do not have the data. And
Okay. I think we have some more comments. Wow. And then the Macmillan Group is asking, now that we have identified the shortcomings of the findings, many of which are already known facts, what are the recommendations to change the plight and move forward and scale and grow?
Right. Good. So this is a very important topic. So first of all, as I said, I'm not an advisor to any black organization or the governments or anything like that. But what we find is that we need to have a leadership structure within the black community. So there is no. If you tell me name 3 leaders in the black community, who would you say? Who would you say, Dr. Vibe, are the 3 main leaders? We really don't know. Okay, so for example, I think Ryan was with us when we went to the National Black Summit. The Expo Development Corporation had this presentation, and they were complaining, and they were saying that close to 70 black organizations approach them for funding. They want to go. All these organizations want to represent their community. So we cannot do that. We must be under one umbrella. Okay, we must be able to unite under one umbrella. So we do not do that. So we need a leadership structure within the black organization. There are about 527 black non-profit organizations.
How many?
527.
Oh, wow.
Okay, everyone wants to do something for the black community. I mean, this is chaos. Okay.
Wow.
I mean, just okay. There are over 207 black ethnic groups. They all want to do things for their community. Okay, so we are separated. So we need to have unity. So that is one of the first observation. Okay, we need to have greater coalition. We all the black
collaboration
groups need to come together. They need to cooperate. We also need to have more employment figures. We need to collect black data. Okay, we also need to partner with other organizations. So maybe some of the organizations should come together. Obviously, what we need, actually, this idea came from Dr. Dunn. Pierre, what we need is a black university. We specifically need a black university. If you have to advance your country, if you advance your population, you must get a black university. And at present, there is no black university in Canada. And even you collect data, you give it to the universities. It's university. There is no black university, so there is no. So we need to have our own. We also need to collect our own data, and that's how we can use our data to advance our people. And that is why our firm, Dunn, Barnett and Company, we have what it's called our Black Data and Information Portal. And so we're collecting data that will be used for the black population. And since 2015, we have been collecting data, and that's why we believe that at present we believe that we are the leaders in collecting data on the black population. Some of the recommendations is that we need to get we need to market ourselves. We also need to network. There's a lot of networking. There's also need for financing. There's a lack of opportunities. We as a population, we need to have more business, more small businesses. At present, we have 27,000, but by 2025, 26, maybe we need to go to about 50,000 businesses. Okay, we need to have 50,000 businesses, and each of these businesses should employ at least 5 persons, on average $110,000 per year. If we do this, it will be a great opportunity for us, because we as a population, we can employ ourselves. At present, Dr. Vibes, we cannot employ ourselves. We are 1.5 million people. We have 27,000 black businesses. We have a business to population ratio of about 1.8. Okay, mean that when our children leave school, they cannot employ. We as a society, we cannot employ our children because we do not have enough businesses. And that is one of the major challenges. So as a result, we children in the survey, we found persons with master's degree, first degree, cashing, doing just not like jobs that do not require advanced level education. And that is why we need more Black businesses. And there is, I mean, we call out to agencies like FACE and all the others to get involved in supporting Black businesses.
Okay. This survey took a while to do. How much time did it take? And it's not cheap either, is it?
Well, yes. These type of surveys are, as I said, the World Bank normally fund these surveys. So because it's a very expensive undertaking, that's why government normally handles these labor market needs assessment. However, in 70 years or over 40 years, nothing has been done, and if it continues, we will have problems. So we have to thank organizations as the ACBN for initiating this type of study. An average study, costs maybe almost close to over $500,000. So they're very expensive surveys. So it's difficult for one organization, and that is why when we started the survey, we asked all the other agencies, all the other Black organizations to support.
Right.
Okay. However, none of them came
to it. So then, who financed this survey then?
Well, the ACBN contributed, and some other organization, non-Black Black organization, but other non-Black organization supported. And that shows the kind of challenge we have within our society. That's why we have to support Black research. A most important survey like that, a survey that will help your children, okay, your future, and we do not want to support it, and we could not get a Black organizations to support such a major survey.
Question from a comment here from the Macmillan Group. Agreed on 100% on a Black post-secondary institution. It would follow the free flow of ideas. Ideas and their executions are what make communities grow and thrive. I'm going to put you on the spot here, but you don't have to give actual names. Out of the Black ecosystem,
yes,
how many of those members provided funding to help for this survey? You don't have to give names, just how many?
Very little, less than 3.
Okay. And there's about, how many did you approach?
Oh, we wrote a letter to everyone.
How many responded?
Very few. Very, very few. I think some of the persons, we have to give like to Ryan, to FACE, and to these other organizations who came up and said, hey, this is important. I had a lot of discussions with Miss Tiffany Calendar. So we're really interested. You see persons that are interested. Ryan, Miss Andrea, you had introduced me to her.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Other people, Dr. Grant, and other persons are interested. But we find sometimes, Dr. Vibes, sometimes I'm baffled. Okay, I'm baffled. I say, a society, a study that important. Okay?
But see, as I said, 3, and there's at least 30 ecosystems.
40, around 44. There are 44.
Okay, 3 out of 44.
Yes.
So no. I want to do this. I want to do this in real time. Like, I can't do mathematics that quick in my head anymore, but I want to just do it really good. So 3, okay. So 7% of the ecosystem partners kicked in money. You approach all of them, 7, and I'd be like, so as I say, the more I know, the less I understand.
Yes,
I see the value in something like this and this. So, Go ahead, Dr. Pierre. I'm
Yeah.
going to continue on with
So
this.
what we've been learned that the collectively, I think they got like over almost $100 million.
Yep.
Okay. And
Yep.
like we were asking, I think we were asking like maybe $10,000, $5,000, $20,000. Just give whatever you have. Just give.
Yeah.
But none, absolutely, they did not support. And when we conducted the survey, we had to get the survey reviewed. We sent StatScan. We sent some of the persons at StatScan to review the survey and give comments. So they looked at the survey and they gave a comment. They found that our numbers were good. They had data from 2018. We had our updated data. I think there were some differences in so they had a total business of 18,000, but that data was from 2018, and a business ownership of around 68,000. But over the last 4 or 5 years, there had been an increase in black businesses. So we got that data, and we also surveyed 1,583 persons. So that's one of the largest data set of black businesses. So we had a margin of error of 1.14. So it's an exact survey almost that mirrors the rest of their population. And obviously, and because what we do of association, the survey was done in World Bank surveys solutions. So it had a certain standard to it, and so when we conduct these surveys, it has to be standardized. And as I said, we have been in this business for a long time. We have the experience in conducting these type of surveys among black people, and we believe that we have more experience than maybe any other Canadian institution or even Canadian universities. Because and we stand by what we say. We have the experience.
Okay, so we're going to start winding it down here. I am going to provide the website link where you can get the report while I have a few more moments of conversation with Dr. Pierre. So 2 more conversation pieces for you, Dr. Pierre. First things first, what do you want the government to do when it comes to this area?
Okay, well, yes, we first of all, we have to thank the government, the federal government, for providing a lot of assistance to us. I think over the last couple of years, we have gotten maybe almost like maybe close to $1 billion in funding over the last 10 years from the government, and FACE and other agencies have received funding from the government. So first of all, we want the government to look at the to take first, for example, to start to support to continue to support black businesses. And we also have to thank the government because we know, for example, banks do not give money to black people, and it was so bad. It was so that the government had to come up with its own funding specifically for black people. And we want to thank the government for that. So the government has to continue doing that. The government has to also insist on collecting race-based information. So race-based data is absolutely important because we have to know what our people are doing. The government also must, they should conduct a national black labor market needs assessment if the black community cannot conduct it. And we want to say that the government should not be 100% involved in that. It should come from us. We have to do. There are over 100 something ethnic groups in Canada. We cannot. We are maybe the only one that relies so heavily on the government. Other ethnic groups, the Filipinos, they know where every Filipino person is. They conduct the regular assessment and surveys among their communities, Jewish and other organizations. We don't. We rely on the government. So we need that. The government should also mandate, well, not can't really mandate, but insist or encourage companies to hire people based on experience and education, not on the color of your skin. Okay, because Black people, even though we are educated, even though we are equally as educated as the general population, we are paid almost 50% less. Okay, I had my son. He graduated from George Brown, top of his class, graphic design, beautiful guy. If you see the work, Dean's List. He, as a Black woman, when he left George Brown, he could not get a job. No firm will employ him. However, all his, as Dr. Vibes was saying, non-melanated students or colleagues, students, all are employed. Every single one of them. He is still not employed. And this is some of the challenge, the help, the assistance that the government can do, to help to mandate firms. Okay, and that is one of their challenges. We also need to have a database, a reservoir to have Black data. Because we do not have Black data, we cannot plan. We are not planning properly. For example, we found that their schools, for example, there is a misalignment. The highest percentage of Black persons or we are employed in the service industry, healthcare service. However, in the STEM subjects, there are in the STEM industries, there are jobs that have like $150,000. There's no Black persons there. So we have to, and that's why a labor market needs assessment is so important. And this is a cry. It's an urgent cry for both the government, both the Ontario and all the governments in the country to mandate a Black labor market needs assessment or a Black census. And I said that it is different from the long form that StatsCan produces. We have to have a labor market needs assessment. And if persons do not know what a labor market needs assessment, they can go on the World Bank, or they can give us a call, and we can provide all the information. But I also want to say that when we produce the study, the government has also been cooperative. I think I met with some of their ministers. I met with some of the MPs. We told them about about this report, and persons are getting interested. So we believe that maybe something good might happen.
Okay. Last conversation piece. What is your message to Black Canadians?
Well, as I said, that I'm not an advisor, okay, but what we have to do, we as Black people, we have to unite. We need a leader. There's no Black leader here, so we need a leader. We need, maybe we should have an organization. We should be under one umbrella. So we need to do that. We have to get involved in the STEM. Okay, we have to learn math and science, engineering. This is their pathway. We have to learn to love each other. We have to be serious in terms of our ability to represent ourselves. We need to conduct ourselves properly. We also need to just start. We need to start collecting data and sharing data, because what we found out is that many of the Black population are very reluctant to give information, especially to StatsCan. What we found out, we do not give proper information because of fear that somebody will do something to us. But if we do not give information, how can the government and the organization help us? So that's why we have to provide more information.
Okay. All right.
We also need to get home ownership. So home ownership, we as Black people, we have to start owning our homes. Okay,
ownership period.
Beg your pardon?
Ownership period.
Ownership, yes. From our survey, only 7.8% of business owners own their own home. That is Black wife, Black husband, Black wife. Only 7.8%. But the interesting thing is that when you replace a Black spouse and replace it with another, or especially with a white spouse, that home ownership goes from 7.8%, Dr. Vibe, to around 32%. That shows how something as race is impact home ownership.
Okay. Excellent. So some final comments here. Aldefina says, so true, Dr. Pierre. Race-based data is key to decision-making as Canadian demographics shift. Fitness IQ Cam, isn't that a shame? Based on the color of skin with such talent. Fitness Cam, no. Dr. Vi for being leader, no. Sorry. Aldefina says, umbrella organization sounds good. If we combine resources, we are stronger together. Yes, when we work together, we win together.
Yes.
And Fitnance IQ Cam says ownership. So Fitnance, if you want me to be a leader, are you going to run my campaign? Thank you. Leave it at that. Dr. Pierre, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us today. For the last few moments, I've had a website link on where you can get the resource.
Yes.
It's available. So use it. There'll be a lot of good information. I think anyone who's watching this live on the replay, I would get it. Even if you're not in Canada.
Yes.
I would get it.
Yes. It is important for us, as I said, we want the population to read that survey because it's almost, it mirrors the population. And the report mirrors the population. That's why the survey is so important. The technology was good. We had, for example, we had the World Bank provide a lot of intelligence. We had we work with other organizations. We have to thank persons, Mr. Sean Maturin from the government of St. Lucia. Dr. Philomena Harrison, Mr. Timon Charles. We have Jenilyn Davis. All the people who contributed on to the survey. The staff of Dunn, Pierre, Ricardo, and Vanessa, and everyone. And we also thank Mr. Ryan Knight, ACBN, yourself. We have to thank everyone for contributing to this, Mr. Errol Gibbs, and everyone who contributed. And because it's a start, we have to start somewhere. And this labor market needs assessment is a start. And we're asking the population, we're asking you to get your copy today. Okay, get your copy and read it. And in the meantime, we also are asking you to support Black research, give a contribution, because as I said, if we don't do it, we cannot go to the government again and ask the government for help. Okay, we have to contribute. We have to contribute to Black research. And my phone number is 647-966-4783. As I said, 647-966-4783. And I can be reached by email at Justine Pierre. That's Justin with an E. So CJUSTINEPIERRE@gmail.com. So,
All right. He gave all the deets, everybody. So phone number, email address, etc. Few last comments. Fitness IQ got LMAO about, you're going to run my campaign. I have a feeling if I do it. Foot in mouth, huh? Yeah. Latanya says, Dr. Pierre, thanks for your valuable work you're doing. And Hayden says, as a group of Black people, the most diversified group, more differences than between us than any other group. And also, you know what? We have one more question, and I made sure Hayden didn't forget you, Dr. Pierre. Why do you think you're internationally renowned but completely unrecognized in your own country?
Well, actually, that's a very good question. Actually, one of the main reasons, okay, obviously, just when you look at me, we're black firms, and it's not normal that black people in Canada get opportunities, because racism is worse and is more prevalent in Canada than you have in the United States. So, for example, the general population, they would not generally do business with you if you're not like them. So ducks love ducks, and what we see, for example, just let's say in financing, okay, in the United States, there are over 44 organizations that provide financing to black people. We have less than maybe one or two that provides funding to black people. So so we as an organization, we are known even though we're known worldwide. Okay, we are not known in Canada. Okay, and
Yet.
Recently we have had the BDC to come in and provide support for us. So at least we're on that way. I think we have made some alliance with FACE. We have to thank them for that. Some alliance with Beck, the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, and other organizations who have reached out to us. Okay, Nova Scotia, and I've reached out to us. I think that I met one from the some Clement from the BIPOC and other organizations who have reached out to us. Tropicana have given us some job. We also have to give credit other two organizations like Urban Res, Mr. Fali, and all the persons who have seen us for what we have done, Group Transort. I think we're doing now a study in Quebec, which is called the Black Quebecers Pension Surveys. Okay, because so we have to. Well, what we found out from the data, that we as a ethnic group, when we the people who are over 65. The general population, only 20% of the general population continue to work. But in our population, 27.8% of us still continue to work. So because we have less pension, only about 33% of black people have a pension program. So it is so it is very challenging for us. And that's why the data is so important. That's why we need to conduct this, black labor market needs assessment. And that's why if the government doesn't want to do it, we as people, we have to contribute.
To do it. Yeah, got to find a way.
And it's not that difficult. And we want to we believe that we are the lead. We believe that we also have the more data than any other organization, well, apart from StatScan. But we want to know. We want to in our portal. We want to make sure that the data is available for everyone. Right. And that's it. And the more we are known, the more we get the opportunities in Canada, the more people will recognize us. And we call it on the other organization to support us. And we would like everyone to go get a copy of the download. Go to the website, download the copy, and you will be amazed.
Dr. Pierre, well done. Well said and well done. As always, I want to say thank you for taking the time. You always have a home here. And again, also, if we can help move forward what you're doing because it goes through your organization, not for your organization, we're here to help. So remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy.
Thank you very much.
All right, family. The link has been there for a little while, so I'm not going to keep it up. That's where you can download it. Hope you do. So a few quick things. This Friday is Good Friday, so I don't think we're going to be live. If we're not live, we'll certainly run a repeat of one of the best of the morning vibe, and let's speak of them. Ryan will get better. Again, as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. If you subscribe on YouTube, also hit the notification button. Like it on Facebook, wherever you're watching it. Like it and then tell people about it. Tell people about it. All right? And also, one other quick thing. If you'd like to promote your business or service on the show, please contact me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. If you want to get in touch with me just generally, website, the drvibeshow.com, email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Twitter at drvibeshow, and finally Instagram at the drvibeshow. That's it. So as always, this is the way we end off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. For those who celebrate Easter, have a great Easter. If not, just try to be happy. Don't try, just be happy. Just be happy, all right? God bless, peace, well, keep the faith, walk good. Again, remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy.